Hi, Year Nines. So this week we're talking about transformations. I don't know if you know this, but there's actually 4 different types of transformations. Yesterday, hopefully you looked at reflections. Today we're going to look at translations. So if you're watching this YouTube video, maybe you could pause the video right now and give yourself about 10 minutes to do this starter, just like we do in class. Okay, if you're looking at the video, you can press pause and then come back to it. And if you've got the PowerPoint also open, the answers are going to be on the next slide. Okay, so you go ahead and do that, and I'll go on to the next example. So a translation is actually just a sliding movement made from one or maybe more moves. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a shape and we're going to put it somewhere else on the grid. So we're going to slide it like to the right or to the left or up or down, or we might do more than one thing at a time. So we might take a shape and we might slide it 2 to the right and 3 up at the same time. So it's not going to move, it's not going to change the shape at all. It's just going to move to somewhere else. The shape is going to look exactly the same as it started with. All right, here we go with our first example. So this example says, translate this shape 3 squares to the right. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to figure out where are all of the corners going to be. So here's a corner, here's a corner, here's a corner, here's a corner, and here's a corner. There's another one, but we don't necessarily need to move that. And what I want to do is I want to move every single one of these red dots 3 squares to the right. So I'm going to start up here in the top left-hand corner. And I'm going to start by moving this corner right here 3 squares to the right. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3. And I've counted 3 squares, and then that's where my new corner is going to go. I'm going to do the same thing with the other point beside it, this one right here. So that's going to go 1, 2, 3. There's the next corner. Now it starts to look a little bit messy when you draw the little curves or the little cloud bits. It's absolutely fine. You can rub them out afterwards. If you're doing it in pencil, which would be a really good idea, you can rub them out as you go. I'm going to go to this corner right now. So I'm going to move that one 3 squares to the right. 1, 2, 3. You can also count with little dots like that. So that one ends up over here. I'm going to do this bottom one now. I'm going to move that one 3 squares to the right. 1, 2, 3. And the last corner, which is this one right here. 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm not really good at the ruler bit on this particular program that I'm using, but hopefully you can see where the new shape is going to go. Now, you're going to use a ruler because you have a ruler and it's easy for you to use. I'm just going to freehand this and it's not going to look very good. So I'm going to join up all of my points. So those ones down there, these ones, that bit there, the top, and there we go. Okay, so I've translated that green L shape 3 squares to the right, and as you can see, the entire shape is exactly the same size. It's just moved 3 squares to the right. Now remember, when you do this, you're going to do it in pencil, and you're also going to use a ruler. I did not do either of those things, and mine looks really messy. All right, let's try another example. Okay, same shape as last time, but this time it says translate this shape 2 squares down. So we're moving everything 2 squares down. So I'm going to take all of the corners and I'm going to move them 2 squares down again. So this corner up here is going to go 1, 2 down here. This one is going to go 1, 2 down here. This corner right here is going to go 1, 2 down here. This corner right here is going to go 1, 2 down here. This corner here is going to go 1, 2 down here. Okay, now I'm missing one of the corners, but hopefully you can see where the shape is. And then again, you're going to use your ruler to join everything up. So I join these 2 corners down here and across and down. And then can you see where the rest of the L shape is? You go back this way and then up. Now again, mine looks really messy because I didn't use a pencil and I didn't use a ruler. A ruler is definitely the most important part of this entire topic. Okay, as you can see, the green L shape didn't get any bigger or smaller. It's the exact same thing. It just slid 2 squares down. All right, I've changed the shape this time, but really nothing else is different. It says translate this shape 4 squares left and 1 up. So we have to go 4 to the left, and then we have to go 1 upwards. So I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing this entire time. I'm going to take every single corner and I'm going to count 4 squares to the left and then 1 square up. So this corner down here at the bottom left is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left and 1 up. Okay, the corner in the bottom right is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 squares to the left and 1 up. The top ones, this top one over here is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 squares to the left and 1 up. And finally, the last corner is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 up. Okay, now remember, you're going to try to join these up using a ruler. I don't have a ruler, so I'm just going to join them up just like that. And there we go. So it's pretty much the same shape aside from my wobbly edges. And all that happened is the entire purple shape slid 4 squares to the left and 1 square up. So in maths, we don't like to use a lot of words, and the last few questions had quite a few words. They used to say things like 4 squares to the left and 1 square up. And we actually have an even easier way than writing that. We can describe a translation using a column vector, which sounds really, really fancy. And this guy right here, this is the column vector. And the column vector actually tells us lots of things. We just don't realize it. So the top number in the column vector actually tells us the movement that goes to the right or to the left. So if you think about a grid, like an axis, okay, if it tells us to the right or to the left, the right numbers are the positive numbers and the left numbers are the negative ones. So if it's a 3, it's going to move 3 to the right. The second number, the number underneath, the bottom number, tells us if it's going to go up or down. And the same thing, if we think about an axis as well, and we think about the up or down part of the axis, this is the up part and this is the down part. So the up part is going to have the positives and the down part is going to have the negatives. So this 2 right here tells us to go 2 down. So this column vector 3, 2 is actually 3 to the right and 2 down, which is what you already know how to do. We've done those for the last 2 questions. Okay, so here we've got an actual exam style question. This is how they would ask this to us in a GCSE exam. So it says, translate this shape 3 minus 2. So this 3 right here is a positive, and the top number tells us right or left. So this is going to tell us 3 to the right. The bottom number tells us up or down, and it's a negative 2, so that means it's going to go 2 squares down. So now we have to move every single corner 3 squares to the right and 2 squares down. So I'm going to start by marking my corners. These are the ones that I want to move. Okay, and I'm going to move each of those corners 3 to the right and 2 down. So I'm going to start here. I got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm going to go to this one now. 1, 2, 3. That was wrong. Hang on. I'm going to go to this corner now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now I'm down here at this bottom corner. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This corner up here, 1, 2, 3, and down 2. And then this last corner right here, down across 1, 2, 3, and down 2. 1, 2. So hopefully you can see my new corners, and I'm going to try to draw them up or join them up with as best line as I can. Okay, so there's my new shape here, the one that I'm coloring in red. And as you can see, it looks the same as the blue one. It's just been moved 3 squares to the right and 2 squares down. I can even check and count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that looks good to me. All right, same idea yet again. Translate this shape -4 minus 1. So the top number tells us left or right. So -4 tells us to go left 4. So 4 squares to the left. And the -1 tells us to go down. So that's 1 down. So I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing the entire time. I'm going to choose a corner, and I'm going to go 4 squares to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 down. Okay, and then I'm going to choose another corner, like this other one down here. And I'm going to go 4 squares to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 down. I've just got the top corner left to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, and 1 down. And then the last thing I do is best I can join it up using a ruler. I still don't have a ruler, but you're going to have a ruler. So there you go. There's my new blue triangle. Should look exactly the same as the purple one, just been slid 4 to the left and 1 down. All right, final example for me today. Translate this pretty pink triangle 6, 0. So the 6 just means 6 to the right, and I wanted to put this 0 in here because a lot of people get really concerned with the 0. That just means 0 up or down. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down because it's not going anywhere at all. It's really just going 6 to the right. So I'm going to choose each corner, start over here, and go 6 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to choose this corner down here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, that one's right on top of that one. And then the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then last thing I do, join it up as best I can. Yours is going to be perfect though because you're using a pencil and a ruler. So here's my new shape. It's just been translated 6 squares to the right. Okay, all done. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.